When we think about how solar is going to benefit us, we don't usually really think about the fact that energy prices are going up and therefore we're going to effectively save money. What we're really trying to do is just know that day one we're going to be saving money and we understand it's not going to get worse. In fact, what's happened is, as predicted, electric prices have gone up across our portfolio. So every year our benefits are actually better. We're looking at a development right now in, of all places, St. Thomas, because in that development, electricity rates go up 5 or 6 or 7% a year every year. That's not in the SunUp area, but they're consulting with us on that to help us with a local supplier and understand exactly what we can achieve out of that. I'm Bill Balter, president of Wilder Balter Partners. Wilder Balter considered solar for a long time. It never seemed to make sense to us. When we got involved with SunUp, they showed us how it actually could work. I think since then, we've installed probably 4 or 5 projects at this point, and it's been a very positive experience. We view our responsibility as the owner of the developments in really 3 different ways. The first is to make sure we're making a good financial decision. That's sort of an executive decision that I get into, but then really my chief operating officer gets into it. Then if it's an existing development that we're building at the same time that the solar is going on, then we have SunUp work with our construction group out in the field, and they have that expertise, obviously. And then once the development's built, they have to train our on-site managers. We own and manage about 4,000 apartments and about 35 developments. So as we do more of these, we are training our entire site staff to understand what's involved. It turns out there's really very little involved. There's very little for our people to do. Obviously, we insist on, and SunUp gives us a very good warranty. And in terms of the annual maintenance, they train our supers on what to do, but there's really very little for them to do. I think initially my fear in doing it was that it would be something that we would have to be, as a company, very involved in, and we'd have to become expert in it. Our experience turned out to be that SunUp really held our hand through it, and they really did all of the heavy lifting. They let us know what they needed out of us. I provided a staff person who would interact with them, but basically SunUp did everything from design to permitting to the grant process, all the way through installation and getting the system turned on, and then ultimately showing us how to use the reports to understand what our actual savings were. I think one of the things that I was very concerned with is that we were going to go through this effort, and then at the end of the day, we were not going to actually realize the savings. One of the things that was very important to us was that SunUp showed us exactly how we would benefit before we did the work, and then after the work, they proved to us that the system was actually working better than they had projected that it would. Yeah, I think SunUp has sort of 2 versions of what I need. One is a very detailed model that they're happy to give us, and the other is sort of an executive summary, which is really what I look at the most, and I think most people in my position is what they would look at. It is very concise, easy to understand, payback over a 5 or 6 year period that as an owner I can really rely on. The guts of it, essentially I give to my finance group, and they look at it, analyze it, look at the tax benefits, we show it to our accounting team, we show it to our lawyers, and it works. But from my perspective, it's very easy to understand. The next logical place to go was to look at my house. I wanted to have a few more developments under my belt, so I think they did 2 more developments, and once those 2 were done, which were the ones in Round Top in Westchester and Hillcrest in Putnam County, I then have them do my house, where they were able to help me size the system for my Tesla. If I had to do it all over again, the only change I would make is I would have found SunUp 2 years before we did, because we really did waste a lot of time with other solar companies who are trying to do the one-size-fits-all mode, which really doesn't work for our business.